chairman of Northern Ireland Conservatives. So that's a punch-up going on between the Democratic Unionist Party and Sinn Féin. Plus ça change there. But Sinn Féin also, that's why I thought we were going to run the clip. Michel also says it's actually a Tory shambles, that Heaton Harris could have said this days ago, moved on, or had the election. He just doesn't know what to do because he doesn't know what the answer is.
Well, hi, Alistair. Great to be back with you. I mean, it's not unusual that Sinn Féin will take an opportunity to take shots at the UK government and the Conservative Party. They regularly criticise the Conservative Party. That's not unusual. But I would say that I think the Secretary of State, first and foremost, had a legal obligation here. Within 6 months of the previous election, if an executive wasn't formed, he was obligated by law to look at these options. What he has done is he's taken soundings from the political parties in Northern Ireland. And I don't think there was an appetite across the board. There certainly wasn't an appetite amongst the unionists that I talked to for a Christmas election. I think it would have arguably been a waste of taxpayer money. Still saying that, he's still under the same legal obligation to call an election by the 20th of January. So if he's to avoid that, arguably, there will need to be further legislation at Westminster. But I'd say, with respect to the comments made by both Michelle O'Neill and her colleagues, I think the idea that the DUP are staying out of the executive because of that, the First Minister, Deputy First Minister issue is total nonsense. You know, the DUP were very open during the Assembly election campaign about their reservations behind the protocol and their decisions regarding that. The office of First Minister and Deputy First Minister are de facto joint First Minister offices. One can't do anything without the other, as is clearly demonstrated at the moment with the inability of the Assembly to sit. And
also, just to remind folk at home, that I'm 99% certain from this addled little mind that when you and I last discussed it, I mean, the simple fact of the matter is the share of the vote between Sinn Féin and DUP may change a little bit, but the outcome is unlikely to be different whenever that election is held. But as far as the people that you represent yourself and across Northern Ireland, it means another period of indecision. It means that the services are just ticking over. Civil servants, bless their hearts, are trying to run the health service, the welfare system, the energy crisis. I mean, it really is an abrogation of responsibility.
It's so disappointing. You know, we're here again. Last time it was because of Sinn Féin. They collapsed the Assembly. This time it's because of the DUP. Northern Irish people deserve proper governance. And what I don't think we should tolerate again in Northern Ireland is what we had last time, where we had this limbo whereby civil servants were taking legally questionable decisions. I think we either need a restoration of the devolved government, or we need some form of direct rule from Westminster. We deserve proper governance in Northern Ireland. We have a collapsing healthcare system here. I mean, we are in dire straits in terms of waiting times, and we're about to head back into winter with the extra pressures of that. We are in the middle of a cost of living crisis as well, just like the rest of the UK. We need proper governance. I know the Secretary of State is scrambling right now to try and clean up the mess of the local Stormont political parties. And of course, you know, they always would take an opportunity to try and deflect blame onto the UK government. But the mess that we're in right now in Northern Ireland is firmly at the feet of the local Stormont political parties. We need a resolution to the protocol issue. I think the only way I think we're going to see a meaningful long-term solution to that is negotiation and a solution on both the European Commission and the UK government side. We need a solution that both the unionist community and the nationalist community can get behind. I think, you know, as has been said time and time again, goods coming from GB into Northern Ireland that are clearly for domestic consumption in Northern Ireland and pose no threat to the European single market should not be subject to checks. And I think you're even starting to see an openness to this on the EU side as well.